The squeak of Zane Mercer's mop head against the polished concrete floor of Northgate Dynamics sounds obscenely loud in the pre-dawn quiet. He works in the visitor staging area, a cavernous room built for waiting, not cleaning. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead, catching the dust motes he stirs up. Zane is 39, wearing cheap, loose-fitting coveralls that smell faintly of bleach and exhaustion. Every movement is efficient, minimal. He doesn't look up, doesn't need to. He's mapped the room by sound and echo, a skill learned decades ago. He pushes the mop toward the far corner, near the security turnstile. His mind is running a silent calculation. Time left before sunrise, minutes to get home, the dosage of Poppy's prescription refill. The money is short, always short. He can feel the thinness of his wallet against his thigh, a constant, dull pressure. A loud, casual stomp of combat boots echoes from the hall, too confident for engineers. Zane shrinks his posture, trying to fold himself into the shadows by the wall. 6 operators in desert camouflage file in, moving with that heavy, quiet assurance of men who carry loaded weapons and know how to use them. They are laughing, talking about a recent field exercise. They don't see him. They see a janitor. One of them, a thick-necked man named Rico, catches sight of Zane's bare forearm, where the sleeve has ridden up from the heat of mopping. Rico stops talking mid-sentence. He nudges his buddy Kwame with his elbow. "Look at that," Rico says, his voice loud enough to carry through the empty room. "Maintenance man trying to cosplay?" Kwame leans in, squinting. "What, the dirty mop bucket? Or is it the tat?" Zane keeps his head down, gripping the mop handle until the knuckles are white. The tattoo is a tiny black mark, no bigger than a pencil eraser, just above his wrist. He knows exactly what they're seeing. Nothing. Just a speck. He's used to it. He's heard worse. If you're enjoying the story so far, hit like, subscribe, and stay with me, because you don't want to miss what happens next. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Rico laughs, a dismissive short burst of air. "Man, I bet he got that for $5 in a back alley. Probably thinks it means something deep." Zane focuses on the scent of the industrial cleaning solution, trying to drown out the noise, the easy contempt. His boss, Corinne Park, appears at the edge of the room, sharp in her business suit, watching the operators with disapproval, but saying nothing. She always sees him, but never says what she sees. She noticed he didn't flinch when the fire alarm test went off right behind him last week. Corinne steps closer to Zane. Her voice is low, but the words cut through the lingering laughter. "Mercer." Zane stops mopping. The silence is sudden and sharp. "Where did you learn to move like that?" she asks. She gestures to the efficient, tight arc of his mopping pattern. It's an unusual question. It hangs in the air, a small new threat. Before Zane can answer, a heavy engine roar outside cuts off the moment. The steel fence slides open with a grinding sound, and a black, unmarked convoy, not the standard base vehicles, begins rolling through the gate. Zane's eyes flicked up, just for a second. The timing is off. They are hours early. The atmosphere in the visitor staging area compresses, all casual conversation dying instantly. The 6 operators snap into rigid, professional silence. Zane tries to dissolve into the wall, dipping his mop into the dirty bucket. The heavy, measured tread of expensive boots enters the room behind the operators. Commander Sloan Reyes walks in. She is early 40s, wearing desert camouflage, a lean, formidable woman. Radio wire runs taut from her ear, disappearing under her cap. Her eyes, sharp and dark, sweep the entire room in a single cold pass. She doesn't have to raise her voice to command attention. The air around her simply forces stillness. Zane feels the familiar, deep-seated reflex to flatten his back against the wall, to hold his breath. Her gaze assesses her team, then lingers, almost imperceptibly, on the figure holding the mop. Zane's worn-out sleeve slips again, revealing the tiny black mark. It's a fraction of a second, but it's enough. Commander Reyes freezes. It is not an erratic, surprised stop, but a controlled, full cessation of momentum. Her jaw tightens. Rico, the thick-necked operator, still trying to impress his friends, clears his throat. "Ma'am, we were just prepping the—" Reyes doesn't acknowledge him. Her attention is a physical weight, focused entirely on Zane's left forearm. She takes one slow step forward, the sound of her boot soles on the tile strangely loud. Zane feels the heat rising on his neck. It's the kind of attention that peels back layers of denial. Internally, Zane curses the threadbare elastic on his sleeve. This is it. The past finally reaching out, metallic and cold. He hopes that he mistakes it for a smudge of oil, a bit of faded ink. Sloane Reyes's eyes narrow, tracking the small mark with an intensity that seems disproportionate to its size. Her gaze is clinical, calculating. She is not staring like a tourist. She is reading a blueprint. "Sir," she says. The word is quiet, a statement more than a question. It is addressed to Zane. He glances around the room, confused, trying to deflect. "Me?" She steps closer, close enough for him to smell the faint, clean scent of desert soil and military soap. Her presence completely dominates the space. "Roll your sleeve back." Her tone is flat, absolute. It is not a request. Zane's gut clenches. He hasn't let anyone see that mark clearly in 5 years. Not since he promised himself he was only a dad now. But Commander Reyes is waiting, immovable, undeniable. The air thrums with the contained energy of her authority. The operators behind her exchange puzzled, nervous glances. This is not part of the script. With a slow, reluctant pull, Zane rolls the sleeve of his coverall up, exposing the mark entirely. It looks impossibly small, yet vast in its implication. The small black mark on Zane's forearm is revealed. It is an emblem surrounded by coordinates so faded they resemble old scars. Commander Reyes's controlled exterior wavers for a breath, the barest flicker of shock crossing her eyes. She doesn't move. The silence is profound, absolute. The entire command team is a tableau of frozen confusion. Then Sloane Reyes moves. She raises her right hand and snaps off a salute. It is a crisp, formal salute. The thumb is straight, the fingers are pressed tight, the wrist is firm. It is not a casual gesture, it is a sign of respect and recognition given to a superior officer or a wartime ally. The air leaves the room. Rico chokes on a breath. Kwame's eyes widen in disbelief. Zane, standing there with a mop in his hand and bleach on his clothes, stares at the commander's upheld hand. Then instinct takes over. The training is still locked deep in the muscle memory. His own right hand flies up to his temple, matching her gesture with perfect, clean precision. The moment the two salutes meet across the space, the world shifts. Zane is no longer a janitor. Reyes drops her hand slowly, her eyes locked on his. She is still controlled, but a deep, focused intensity has replaced the shock. "Where did you get that ink?" she asks. Her voice is low, tight. "A long time ago," Zane answers, his voice ragged. She nods once, a slow confirmation of a dangerous theory. She looks again at the tiny emblem, almost reading a secret language. Then she says the word, "choir." The effect is instantaneous. The operators who minutes ago had been laughing go utterly still. The name choir was a live wire, and everyone in the room suddenly understands they are standing too close to the current. Choir wasn't a word for this base, for this time, or for any public record. Sloane Reyes turned slightly, addressing the room, but looking specifically at Corinne Park, who stands rigid on the periphery. "Who cleared this man onto the base? The demand is cold." Corinne steps forward, pale. "I did, ma'am. He's facilities staff, temporary audit support." Reyes looks back at Zane. "He is not facilities staff." She steps closer to Zane. Her voice is low, but forces intimacy in the public space. "Zane Mercer." His breath hitches. His name spoken here, by her, is the final terrifying lock clicking shut. "You're coming with me," she says. Zane swallows hard, gripping the mop handle like a lifeline. "Ma'am, I can't go. I need to go home. My daughter, Poppy, she needs her medication refill today. My son, Kellen." Reyes doesn't soften her expression, but her voice takes on a deadly earnestness. "That is exactly why you are coming, because choir men don't disappear unless they are protecting something that matters more than them." She glances pointedly at Rico, whose face has gone completely blank with shock. Zane understands. The door isn't just open, he's been pulled through it. The protection he'd purchased with 5 years of silence has just been revoked. Sloan Reyes moves, grabbing Zane's elbow with a firm but not aggressive grip, propelling